Russ Brielle with Shroud Encounter, and the Shroud has been making the news a lot lately, especially on YouTube. Lots of videos being produced now, and a lot of investigations being done using artificial intelligence that are very intriguing. Really interesting things being found and discovered about the Shroud, and it's of course, now you people have those that are for it and those that are against it, and truly the Shroud, poses, one of the greatest either or propositions of all time, and that is either it is the authentic burial shroud of Jesus or it's not. And if it's not, well, then it must be the work of an artist. It must be the work of human effort somehow, some way. And yet, strangely, the Shroud is the most analyzed artifact in the world. It's been subjected to thousands of hours of scientific analysis, and it remains an unsolved mystery. And you think that that would be kind of preposterous on its own. How can something allegedly crafted in the 14th century be unsolved in the 21st? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And which is why many people do believe it is authentic. And I always say, well, I'm 90% there. I can't even fathom how it was the creation of a medieval artist without the use of any kind of paint, ink, dye, pigmentation, or stain. I mean, you clearly have the image of about a 5'10" crucified man, and yet the image is purely superficial. Yet you have a whole pattern of bloodstains which correlate with the wounds of crucifixion, specifically the crucifixion of Jesus, with a crown of thorns and over 30 puncture wounds all around the head, and scourging all over the body, and nail wounds in the wrist, nail wounds in the feet, wound in the side. And so, there's no mistaken identity in terms of who this man could be. So strangely, the Shroud remains this unsolved mystery, and yet it's a mystery that goes to the very bullseye of the Christian faith, which is the life, suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And that's what makes it so compelling. That's what makes it so intriguing. And that's also what makes it so controversial. So anyways, see you next time. Russ Brielle with Shroud Encounter again. And if you watch my last video, we discussed how the Shroud of Turin, believed by millions to be the actual burial shroud that wrapped Jesus when he was in the tomb, that it is the ultimate either or proposition, that it either is or it isn't. And if it isn't, then it must be the work of human effort. It must be the work of an artist. Now, taking from the the whole dating issue has been quite a mess. If any of you studied the Shroud at all, you know that they took a sample from the outside corner edge of the cloth, and it's and whether that sample was fully representative, maybe not. It's and now there's other dating methodologies that have been employed that now are saying it appears that it could be first century after all. And so dating has been a big conundrum with regards to the Shroud. And it's but what I'd like to just mention here is that if we hang our hat on a medieval carbon date to suggest that it has a median age of maybe 1320, 1260s to 1390, with that 1320 being the midpoint. Then we are allegedly looking for a 14th century artist. Now, one of the things when I wrote this book, Shroud Encounter, Explore the World's Greatest Unsolved Mystery, there's a chapter in here called The Challenge of Art History. And we have looked at every artist known in the 14th century who was painting anything from either Italy or France, and there is no one in the 14th century that had the skills or the capability to produce what we see on the Shroud. So the glib answer is, oh, it's nothing more than just a medieval forgery, just a medieval fake. Okay, well then, who did it? Who is he? How did he do it without the use of any kind of paint, ink, dye, pigmentation, or stain? I mean, how do you do that? Purely superficial, penetrates only the top 1 to 2 microfibers, less than 1% of a single thread? I mean, how do you do that? And especially in the 14th century. So just to say, that it's the work of a medieval artist is not sufficient. Who is it and how did he do it? You tell me that, and I and then you got something to say.